Good morning from Sweden. So this is the morning reflection with I Ching for the 7th of February 2026. I hope you are well. So if you are benefiting from this reading, please like and subscribe. So as always, we are starting by grounding ourselves and bringing ourselves into the present moment, leaving old stagnant energies behind. So start by rooting yourself down on the seat below, whether you're sitting on the floor or sitting on the chair. If you're sitting on the chair, make sure your feet are placed on the floor underneath, firmly placed on the floor underneath, connecting to the surface below, as well as your buttocks connecting to the surface below as well on where you are sitting. And if you're walking, allow the whole foot connect with the surface below. And we're starting by breathing out, emptying our lungs of old stagnant air, stagnant chi, and then breathing in through the nose, starting a full breath, and then breathing out through the nose. And then as you breathe in through the nose, the stomach expands, and as you breathe out, it contracts. And this is all the way around the whole stomach area. And now breathing normally into the stomach. Feeling the movement traveling up through the spine, allowing the spine to rise up, crown point toward the sky. And as you breathe in, you are becoming heavier and heavier, rooting down in the seat below and the feet below, connecting to Mother Earth. And this is a micro movement. The spine remain rising towards the sky. Let's do 3 cleansing breaths. So we start by emptying out the lungs and then breathing in through the nose all the way up, filling from the stomach all the way up. And then breathe out through a pinhole through the lips. Releasing all thoughts and energies and stale air, and then breathing in through the nose. And then breathe out through a pinhole through the lips. Rooting down into Mother Earth with each breath out. And then one last breath in through the nose. And releasing out through a pinhole through your lips. So the resistance is helping us to switch from the sympathetic nervous system state into the parasympathetic state, and helping us to come into this present moment. So let's see what the energies has for us today. So what are the energies like today, and how do we best navigate them in order to have a smooth and possible day forward? Heaven, earth, fire, water, thunder, wind, wood, mountain, lake. So we have lake below, and check the hexagram. So what are the energies like today? And how do we best navigate them in order to have the smoothest and most joyful way forward today? Heaven, earth, fire, water, thunder, wind, wood, mountain, lake. So we have wind above, which looks like this. So a little yin space of Jin in between the energies of yang here. So we've got Zun above Dui. So we've got wind sweeping, it's gentle movement, right? Wind is gentle movement sweeping over the lake, which is nourishing. It's also stable with a stable center. Let's have a look at that. With a stable center, we can radiate joy outwards. So it's about cultivating our inner being, cultivating our good qualities, okay, in order to be able to be stable from within, to radiate joy and compassion and stability without. And the wind is providing some gentle movement forward. So let's have a look where we are exactly in the process of this energy, this hexagram, and what we're moving into. So first 9, second 9, third 6, fourth 6, fifth 9, and the sixth 9. So we're right at the top. Which then we are moving into Kan. So we've got a very watery energies. We're moving into here, which is Kan, which is water, over Dui, which is lake, which is water, right? It's a lot of replenishing energy here. And also very receptive, or very, what do you say? We can change direction easily, like water that flows in a stream changes direction. It's not necessarily it's a bad thing to change direction, right? We are not the obstacles in our ways. We are not going like head first. We're not going into battle here and trying to remove obstacles in our way. We sort of find our way around them instead. So it's quite a flowy energy. Rather than fighting our way forward, we are finding ways around our obstacles. It doesn't mean that we do not handle problems, but we're not dealing with them head on, right? We are being much more receptive than that, looking at the situation and then finding a better way, which is calmer and more peaceful way forward, okay? So let's see, what is the approach Gua? So we've got Yang, Yin, Yin, which is thunder. And then we've got Yin, Yin, Yang. So this one is expanding. I recognize this energy actually from before. So that's mountain again. Under thunder. Or over thunder, sorry. And so we've got a mountain, so we've got thunder below a mountain. It's almost like an earthquake. The thunder's got movement under the stability of the mountain. So it's got, and actually it feels like here we've got the wind blowing over a lake. So it's a gentle movement more, but while the thunder is more of a stronger movement, right? But this is what's advancing, right? So we are talking about generally, right, we are moving forward, definitely. We are, but we are not moving forward with full armor. We are following the flow of the water. So if we're hitting obstacle, we're finding another way around it rather than trying to hack our way through like a big boulder. There is some movement, but also a lot of stability. So we've got like a mountain is, it doesn't move an awful lot. Like it's like, it's there. It does move slowly throughout the years, right? It's growing or it's moving and changing, like, but it's so slow, the movement of it. So it's like solid, a mountain. But we got this thunderous movement underneath, which is sort of shaking things up a little bit. And then obviously the movement with the gentle wind blowing over the lake. But the lake is also talking about stability, and it's about cultivating our good qualities like love and compassion and joy from within, not actually expecting to have all this delivered to us from without. It's one thing, right, to getting joy, like watching a comic or a comedian or you know, somebody telling us that we're beautiful and giving us compliments. Is wonderful to have that, and I'm not saying we shouldn't do that. We should definitely bring joy to other people's life. But true joy and true stability comes from within, when we no longer need this right? We don't need this in order to be happy. We can be absolutely happy and content in our own company, and then actually provide this for ourselves. And when we are that, that's what the lake is speaking about. That we've got this stability within, then we can radiate this without and share it with the world, like with all sentient beings. But we do have this movement with the wind blowing over the lake, but it's a gentle movement. And here the underlying energy is also talking about stirring things up, but this is not here at this present moment. It's the advanced, or it's the hidden energy, right? And the water over lake, which is water over water, really, it's yes, we are moving forward, but we are moving forward taking different routes around obstacles, not battling them head on, right? We're finding the best way forward, which might be the longer route. However, it's the best one in the long run for our mental health, our joy, and actually creating something new with this movement forward that comes from love and joy, rather than having to battle our way through it. So let's have a look actually what the hexagrams are saying and what they are. So we've got Zun over lake, which is the lake, which is 61. So wind over lake is 61. And here it's like almost like a point. There's like in a dot board, there's a center where you're trying to hit the center, or like with a bow and an arrow, trying to hit this is the center of the issue at the moment. This is the core, talking about the core, and it's the stable core. So it's going to be interesting to see what 61 actually is. And then we've got Kan Dui. This is the strongest energy part. This is what we're moving into. And actually we're going to look at which is the top stage here, which is like this is where we are in the process of this hexagram, and we're moving into this. So it's Kan and Dui, which is lake 60. Kan, water over lake, which is 60. So we're here in the lower canon, and lower canon is regarded to the earth energy. So you got heaven, where everything is created, and the initial spark, and like the beginning of everything. And then earth, which is the nourishment, which is the home, which is the stability. So the upper canon, which speaks about the living beings, us that are manifested on this planet, which is humans and all animals and any living sentient being, okay? And then let's see the Gen, it was on 27. 27, so let's have a look. So 59, 60, restricting. No, restricting. Yes, that's what we're moving into, restricting, okay? And then 61 is the main energy of now, inmost sincerity. Oh, sorry, I'm just sitting really difficult to sincerity. And then 27, which is nourishing. Okay. Nourishing. Mountain over. So let's have a look at the elements for all these as well. So nourishing is earth, and then 60 is water, which is of course is. So this one is earth. We've had a lot of earth energy lately, but. So nourishing is like a lot of replenishing. I was talking about that, we're getting like some nourishment or replenished by the water. And then also the underlying here energy is nourishing. And number 61, what is the main? It's wood. And wood is about growth. It's about growth, and it's about releasing anger and frustration and transmuting it into acceptance and forgiveness if possible. Sometimes it's very difficult to forgive. Wood and Zongfu, it's called Zongfu. So innermost sincerity is about cultivating ourselves. It's the center, having the center of us being totally sincere, the seed of us, or the true essence of us, not without all these obscurations around us that we're being taught from early childhood or throughout our life, right? And how to respond to things and how to react to things, and how to protect ourselves, and all the lies that we're being told as well that are truth. Which is the whole society is teaching us that a lot of things that are valuable, like cars and like diamonds, you have lots of money, and that's really valuable. Of course, it makes life a lot easier if you've got lots of money. But that's not the greatest value, right? We need money to provide for ourselves. I'm not saying that, but actually, what has the highest value? It's sincerity. And a kind heart and compassion and looking after each other, and that is somebody who's like that has got really high value. Somebody who just do anything to look flashy on the outside is low value actually, although it looks very shiny on the surface, but the true value is very low because it has little essence. There's no essence, right? It just looks great on the outside. True value is where somebody actually shows up constantly. They might not look so great on the outside, right? It might be a very poor person who hasn't got all these flashy things or anything, but the true value is they constantly show up. They always look after their family. They always look after their friends. They even look after people who they don't know, or right? They might not have lots, and they might not have the latest fashion trends, or they might not look the most beautiful according to the standards of today, which do change throughout the years, right? What's beautiful today is not beautiful in 100 years, right? And what was beautiful 100 years ago is not beautiful today. So that just shows is what we've been trained to believe, right? What society around us tells us, this is what is beautiful, this is what is great, and this is what's valuable. But those are just how you're being trained to think. There is no truth in that. That's not the true essence, okay? So let's read. Zong means core, center, middle, or hit the mark. Fu means sincerity, confidence, honesty, reliability, trustworthiness. Literally, Zong Fu means hit the core of sincerity and trustworthiness. Right? This is it. The shiny surface means nothing. There might be a shiny surface with some beautiful brilliance underneath as well. That could most definitely happen. We've got some really beautiful, rich people, right? It's got all these beautiful things, but I have like a really beautiful core as well, right? I'm not saying that one thing does not mean the other thing, but you might have something that looks really great on the outside, and it really is really as great on the inside as well. And it might be somebody who comes out being really kind and really looking after people and constantly, and you see this, you see this kindness on the surface, and they are the true core is that as well, right? And that's what's just spilling out from underneath, okay? So just look at the situation and see what is the truth of the core, right? What is the actual truth? And this comes to back again, like it keeps on coming up, discernment. What is it that you're seeing? Is it true? Is this just an illusion? Does it just look good on the surface? Is there really goodness in the core? Is there all these honesty, reliability, trustworthiness, sincerity, confidence, true confidence? Not confidence that looks on the outside, somebody who's loud and speaks a lot and seem confident. Right? True confidence comes from within, from cultivating this core, like from the lake here, where you got this true core, which then radiates joy from the outside, from the inside to the outside. That's true confidence, right? Because you know who you are, but you don't have to slap people in the face with it, right? You don't have to go around and show people and have to show people this constantly. Then that's just surface level, right? If there are lots of words and a lot of ba 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 boom, quite often there is less of that within. Okay. Let's have a look. Actually, I'm just going to read this one. Under the heaven, only the person possessing the most complete sincerity and trustworthiness is able to fully develop his true nature. If one is able to fully develop his true nature, he is able to fully develop the nature of other people. If one is able to fully develop the nature of other people, he is able to fully develop the nature of all creatures. In doing so, he is able to be involved in heaven and earth, transformational, nourishing functions, and become one with heaven and earth. And this speaks about, so if you are completely sincere and trustworthy within, you can develop your own nature. But this means that you have to be really sincere with yourself, right? Look at your own kinks. Like, people are so quick at judging others. Like, and this includes me, right? I'm taking myself out of this equation. I catch myself all the time doing this, right? Look at the people over there, how they're bad. Look at all the bads, and they don't understand, and they can't see, and oh, they're terrible. But very few people actually going, oh, hang on, what am I doing? Right? And then, so innermost sincerity really starts with being sincere with yourself and not shying away when you see all these rotten bits, the ones that are not as beautiful, like when you are acting in a way that is not very nice, and then when your thoughts, it starts with the thoughts. And I think in our thought world, we are thinking things that are not so beautiful about other people and about other things, and maybe we've got anger within and all these kind of things. But very few people actually look at this because it's difficult, because our ego goes in there and going like, oh, I don't want to look at that. And we don't want to admit to ourselves that we have all these weaknesses. Right? It's so much easier to just go, look at all these over there. But the problem is, if we're pointing the finger to other people, look at what they're doing, or look, they're doing bad, then we're not doing anything about our own behavior. And this is a constant work, right? And we need to be really honest with ourselves and really look at all these things that makes us shudder, that we really just want to put away in a dark corner and then look at it. Like all the times that we've not been, the best that we can be. Like when we hurt people, when we've not seen clearly, when what we've been doing has been creating harm. So we need to be really honest with ourselves and look at ourselves and say, okay, is this coming from a heart of love, like a love, from a point of love for all sentient beings? Or is this my ego speaking? Oh no, I just want people to see that what I'm saying is true. For example, if you're not being listened to, and your intention is to make everyone understand, but maybe people are not listening. Maybe it comes from within, right? I don't know, but this is the first seed. But then when we cultivate ourselves and we are becoming this innermost, like this, the ultimate sincerity and the ultimate truth for ourselves, well, then we can start affecting other people around us, right? They can start follow our directions. Not directions, but it can become an inspiration to others. So they can start cultivate themselves and not shying away from looking at their darkness within as well, right? And so they can start cultivating. And then we can start doing that with bigger groups of people, inspire people more and more. However, all through this journey, we must never stop and then look at our intention and why we are doing this. Because it's so easy to just go, oh, look at me, I'm so great, right? I'm doing all these good things, and then we don't see. We're back into, again, we're having these blinders on. but we can't really see, and we just get it's like a slippery slope down into ego land again. So constantly actually checking in on ourselves. Is this what I'm doing? Is the intention for the benefit of all beings? Can I see my own my own blind? Can I see through my own illusions, blind spots? Right, and then really do research on that with every step that we take, right? Having our eyes open, and then from there we can ensure that what we are doing is to the best of our ability to create love and peace on this planet, okay? And then eventually, in doing so, he's able to be involved in heaven and earth transformation or nourishing functions and become one with heaven and earth. And becoming one with heaven and earth is becoming enlightened, right? When you actually see things entirely as they are, right? Without all these veils. So this is what I see as this is enlightenment, okay? Well, I'm certainly not there yet, but I'm trying to work on it. We'll see when I get there. Let's see. So decision on the gua. Inmost sincerity, pigs and fishes, good fortune. Favorable to cross great rivers, favorable to be steadfast and upright. Yeah. So be steadfast and upright, be truthfully you. Check in on you. You are doing offerings. So we're doing like they used to do. Here we say, in ancient time, common people could not afford to offer big animals to worship the Lord of Heaven, right? They used to go to the temple and worship and to do offerings, right, for good fortune, for have a smooth day, right? And the rich people could offer big animals and big gifts and all this to the heavens, but the poor people can only offer like small things. So pigs and fishes, that's what they're talking about here. But that's fine, right? Well, it's not fine to offer animals in my world, to be honest. I don't even eat. I don't. I'm vegan, 100%. So but using this as like as an example, right? But even though your offering is very small, you don't have to be rich and have lots of money to like offer diamonds and golds, and maybe you just got an old bent metal spoon. That's all you got, and you're offering this. Well, then that's the greatest thing, right? You're offering what you got, and then with this, what we are offering to the universe is the cultivated inner sanctum of ourself, which is sincerity, confidence, honesty, reliability, and trustworthiness. The core of sincerity and trustworthiness. So we are cultivating all these qualities, and then this is what we're offering, right? Yeah. Innermost sincerity, the yieldings are within and the solids obtain the central places. So the yieldings are just right there in the center. Joy and humility with innermost sincerity and trustworthiness. One is able to transform a country. Yeah. Pigs and fishes, good fortune. Innermost sincerity and trustworthiness turns pigs and fishes to blessings. Favorable to cross great rivers. So this is, the symbol looks like an empty boat. Innermost sincerity and trustworthiness are favorable. With steadfastness and uprightness, it responds to the principle in heaven. So I think this one could be like an arrow, bow and arrow, and here's like a boat with people. Only an arrow positive. The rectangle represents a target and a vertical stroke an arrow. Yeah, so this is the arrow hitting the target. This might be a boat as well. People crossing a great river. So in the olden days, like crossing a river, or still today, if we don't have a good vessel, it's difficult to cross a great river, right? We could drown. It's very dangerous. But now, if we remain truthfully us and cultivating all these good qualities, right? And that's what we're radiating. It's coming from the inside, from our core. This is what we are. The surface might look very calm and might look very bland, and there's nothing there, but the core is absolutely shining because of all these great qualities, okay? Wind over lake, an image of innermost sincerity. In correspondence with this, the superior person judges criminal cases carefully and postpones execution, okay? Yep, this is what I'm talking about, right? It's so easy to go, oh, look at these people with all the bad things they are doing over there, and then we don't look at ourselves, right? And it wasn't, I think, it was Jesus who said, I'm not sure, I don't know the Bible very well, but he who cast the first stone, or he who is without guilt may cast the first stone when they're going to stone somebody, right? It's like we are all criminals in some sort of way. We've all done things that are bad, right? So who can judge another person, right? So be careful. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't, put criminals in prison or anything like that. Of course we should if somebody's causing harm. That's not what I'm talking about. But it's like, who's going to judge? We need to judge carefully, right? We're not going to allow people to behave in any old way. Like Trump needs to be stopped, and his croonies, is that what it is called? His gang around him, right? They need to be stopped, obviously, right? Because they're causing so much harm. But we need to judge criminal cases carefully, right? And then postpone execution. Really, in some cases, we need to just go forward, seriously. But we need to know that what we are judging is actually correct, because so often the judgment goes so quickly, and then we're judging on the surface. Oh, that looks so shiny and fine, and he's good. Yeah, he's very good because he keeps on talking in a way that he's good, right? But the core is rotten, right? So this is what we need to postpone execution. We need to judge the case carefully. See, what is it? Is the core actually solid and actually genuine? And is that where the goodness is? Or is it just on the surface? It looks good on the surface. Yeah, okay. So it's the top 9. A cock's crow rises to heaven, being steadfast, misfortune. A cock's crow rises to heaven, how long can it last? Okay, let's read more into this. The topmost line reaches the extreme of being sincere and trustworthy. One at this place is overconfident, strutting like a cock crowing. Its call rises, but it's stuck on the ground. Okay, yes, this is also what I mentioned, is this like about confidence. Right? Confidence is the stillness within that we can move forward because we trust ourselves, and we trust this earth that we are moving on. We trust that we're being nourished, and we trust ourselves because we really learn to trust ourselves and that's true confidence. But that does not necessarily show on the surface, right? Immediately. Somebody who's like overconfident and like, look at me, what I can do, all these things, and constantly, and bringing the attention to themselves, that's a strutting like a cock crowing. It's just on the surface. It's just bad, just looks on the surface. So now we've got to be careful that that's not what we're turning into. And always constantly coming back. Like, it doesn't matter how far we come. Maybe we are, helping great groups of people, right? But we constantly, all the time, have to come back to, where is the intention coming from? Is this actually coming from innermost sincerity? Is this coming from all these qualities here? Humility, confidence, honesty, reliability, trustworthiness, sincerity, love, compassion. Is this for the benefit of all sentient beings, right? Or is it just me looking good? Constantly. It's not like because we at one point were like this. Like we were at this point where we were like absolutely pure. And the slippery slope is so fast. This is something we have to take with us all through our life, okay? He cannot take a proper measure of himself. If he remains steadfast in his overconfidence, there will be misfortune. Any statement not stemming from sincerity and trustworthiness is like a cock's crow. It amounts to nothing. Yes. So let's have a look at... and then it's not innermost sincerity anymore. It's like it's decayed. So it's moving into restricting. So things cannot disperse forever, thus after dispersing, restricting follow. So dispersing is the one for there. So we're restricting. So with like a water flowing through a river, right? And there's like a stone coming in the middle. Well, we're being restricted, so we have to find a different way around it, okay? But also restricting means that maybe there's been going on too many things around us. And we think in order to be free, we need to have everything open. But quite often we need like really strong boundaries, and we need a great path forward, and we need to plan things correctly to restrict ourselves in order to make the correct movement forward, right? bashing our head against the wall and trying to go through obstacles again and again and again, right? That's just scattered, right? That's just scattered, and we're not going to take us anywhere. It's like, rather than just stopping and restricting ourselves and looking, okay, so which is the best way path forward here? Setting boundaries means to restrict, and from restricting come the meanings of limit, to restrain, to economize, and to save. So at the moment is to keep to ourselves, really, to save. No, so all these meanings have the sense of keeping or containing something within a specified area. Let's have a look at the decision. Restricting, prosperous and smooth, not appropriate to be steadfast in bitter restriction. Okay. This is interesting. So, well, all these texts are interesting, but we're going to take this for now, right? This gua is inverse of the preceding one, dispersing, a movement of scattering. Restricting is set to a boundary for the movement. They are the opposite, but complementary. The structure of the gua is water above and lake below. So water flows into a lake. So we've got a river coming down a mountain, maybe. We've got the mountain here. We've got a river coming down the mountain. The glacier on top of the mountains are melting and going down, right? Too much water pouring into a lake results in flooding unless there's restraint. The space of lake is restricted by its boundaries. Only a certain amount of water can be held within the boundary, otherwise calamity would result. This is where the name restricting comes from. In ancient China, to set limits on one's expenses and bounds for conduct were regarded as a sign of moral excellence. But to be overly restrictive causes pain. Thus, King Wen did not encourage painful restricting. Okay, so this is also, right, it's also talking about, actually with the crowing, like we're going, oh, I'm very confident and look at me, all these kind of things, and it looks really shiny on the outside, and then all this confidence, but really there is no real confidence within. So we need to restrict ourselves and actually cultivate this true harmony within, this true confidence within, this true joy within, and having boundaries on that one, because going around and banging the drum and boosting it is just boosting our ego and has nothing to do with truth and sincerity. Okay, so we need to restrict this one, but not restricting to the point where we're holding back as well. We also need to be able to share, and I think this is the balance of everything in the universe. Like it's the having boundaries, but also being able to receive. So stability and strength and boundaries and all this coupled with the movement and the receptiveness and knowing exactly when we need to be restricting and holding back, and also when we are able to allow to receive into. That's true wisdom. And that's when we tap into our innermost sincerity. And our innermost sincerity is our intuition. This is the connection we have to the universe and all the energies around us. To know this confidence comes from this knowledge, which is like ancient knowledge throughout the lifetimes. If we can tap into that, and we tap into that through going within, and then removing all the obscurations and all the veils we have, so we can see clearly to what is really true. Okay. So here it says not appropriate to be steadfast is interesting in bitter restriction. Right, yeah. So if we restrict too much, then we cannot move forward. Okay. So we need to find this balance. Let's see. Let's just read this one. Water over lake, an image of restricting. In correspondence with this, the superior person creates numbers and measures for restrictions and discuss a moral code for social conduct. Yeah, so finding the balance here, right? Restricting, but not over-restricting. So share, cultivate restricting, and cultivate your inner qualities, and then you can share these, right? Can share this with the world. And then we have nourishing earth, and it's nourishing it's about nourishing our mind, your body, our mind. No, it's really paying attention to what we take in. When it comes to food and drink and that, obviously, so we get the right nourishment, but also what we take in when it comes to information, right? When you're on social media, it's the hateful content all the time, right? What are you taking in? What is the nourishment? What is the spiritual nourishment? What is the intellectual nourishment? What is the physical nourishment? What is it? And really start looking at that and going, okay, am I eating well? Am I listening to the right people? Are they bringing solutions rather than just pointing finger and being angry and blaming other people? And what am I taking in? Am I taking in love and compassion, or am I taking in toxicity? Like, this is very important to be very discerning in who you take into your life and what type of nourishment you're taking in, intellectually, physically, spiritually. Okay, so it's all about innermost sincerity. Cultivate your innermost sincerity. Everything begins with you. It does. And if you are not pure within, it's difficult to live that way and inspire people to be on the same way and actually make real change in this world. So always must come back to ourselves, constantly checking in on ourselves. Who am I? How am I acting in this situation? Okay. And then also restricting, but not to the point of over-restricting, okay? We need to be able to share as well, but we need to cultivate our inner center. And this is where the restriction comes. Not go and boost our own drum. Look at me, I'm so good. And I am being so kind, right? I'm helping all these people. Look at that, right? That's not sincere, right? Sincerity is usually very quiet and very calm, and it just happens. And then when you actually are truly confident, sincere, you have humility and kindness, and when people will start form around you, and then you can become an inspiration, okay? But constantly, never stop to check in on yourself. But when you are this, you need to share with the world, okay? So not too much restricting, and then make sure you nourish yourself with great inspiration. Surround yourself with people who are wise and have lots of kindness and compassion. Okay. So this is the reading for today. I hope it was of benefit, and I'm wishing you a beautiful day ahead.